Bem-vindo ao mês do horror, afinal é Halloween. Estou trazendo vários conteúdos durante o mês inteiro, tanto aqui no YouTube quanto nas redes sociais. Me segue lá, vai estar aparecendo aqui na tela. E neste vídeo eu vou reagir a 5 processos de maquiagem de monstros icônicos do cinema. E ainda bem que a gente tem esse tipo de material, mas a maioria não está traduzida, então eu vou, ao mesmo tempo que assistir pela primeira vez com vocês, eu também vou tentar traduzir alguns detalhes. A gente vai tentando entender o processo juntos, depois da vinheta. Vamos começar por Samara 2.
She's in the chair for quite a bit.
It is a long makeup process for Samara to be close up, detailed.
Ela diz, já começa falando que é um longo processo de maquiagem, eu já imagino. Não tem como fazer uma maquiagem artística em apenas 1 hora, gente.
It really is a 7-hour process.
Actually, we can. Once you get the hands done, then I can start.
Hands are done.
Fingers. All right. Excellent.
Yep. Alright, just doing the legs next, and then I'll do chest.
Mona, ela é alongada, tá?
And I'll leave the face for Aria and the seals for you to do.
In the makeup chair itself, it's a combination of the prosthetics and makeup. So we paint her a certain sheen, like a light sheen with heavy kind of like veining and dark shadows, which kind of shine.
Bom, já fala que eles limpam a pele dela primeiro, né? Depois começa a fazer essa pintura aí com airbrush. E depois vem os detalhes, né? As veias, as manchas.
Shine through when we put the prosthetics on top and we completely cover. They kind of come through, so you get that translucent look.
Okay, so there's a wig cap and a bold cap. We have the ears.
Que tá aí uma curiosidade. Eu achava que também aqui era pintado, mas tem uma prótese também. Eu imagino que seja pra deixar a pele mais lisinha.
Then we put on the neck piece. Then the face starts coming on. We have the chin, the nose and lip, cheeks, and the forehead. And the forehead.
Tipo de crânio. Não sei, ela fala aqui no sentido de ser mais lisinho, assim, redondinho, como se fosse uma melancia lisa.
6 appliances on each arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got top of the hand, palm. 2 sides of the lower arm, 2 sides of the upper arm. We also have 10 finger caps, 1 for each finger, that gives Samara the look that her fingernails have been torn off, as they were when she tried to escape from the well. The skin is saturated and soggy.
Cabelo e tudo, gente. Imagina fazer essa cena. Tem que ter muito fôlego, tá? Não é assim rapidinho também, né? Fazer uma cena dessa.
The legs have 7 appliances on each leg. Top of the foot, bottom of the foot, the shin, the calf, the knee, the thigh, and the back of the leg. So let's see. We've got 14.
Tem adesivação na pele também, tá? Se vocês repararem, isso aí é tipo um adesivo na pele, né?
12. That gives us 26. Fingers make 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. Contact lenses and the wig. 45 appliances.
45 aplicações. Pelo amor de Deus.
But who's counting, right? It is a long process.
And then we dress her with some KY, and we have tubing built that kind of connected to a pump that would run water over it, so you see her dripping as she's walking. so that makes her extra.
Eles colocam um extra de tubinhos de água, como vocês viram, que assim, o negócio é que ela vem do poço, né? Quando ela anda, essas águas vão caindo. Um efeitozinho, não.
Transparent, so you can see all the beautiful paintwork that we did underneath. So that works really cool. It's a lot of work, but it pays off in the end.
Pelo menos ele gosta, né? É muito trabalho, mas ele gosta.
When I walk onto the set, I am downright slimy. I am leaving slimy little footprints everywhere I go. Most of my life on set is spent face down, crawling out of an inky little puddle.
E claro, tem também a ajuda dos efeitos especiais pra fazer toda essa coisa esquisita.
Covered in slime.
She's not just a simple one-dimensional boogeyman. We know her history, and if we had the same history, we'd be just as pissed off.
Ok, acho que depois disso eu já tenho anotado que todo o tempinho de onde vai até vai sobre o assunto. E vai até aqui. Então a gente viu um pouquinho do processo da Samara, que é longo para um cacete, deve estar umas 3 horas. O próximo que eu vou reagir agora é Pennywise, amores.
We were approached by production, and I think the first batch of material we got from them included pencil sketches, and it was already inherent in his art that he wanted Pennywise to have a larger head.
With a makeup character.
Bom, até agora foi dito o quê? Que eles fizeram os esboços pelas primeiras vezes, já chegaram num rápido resultado ali do Pennywise, e ele tem uma grande cabeça, eles tiveram que estudar a melhor forma de tentar produzir essa cabeça.
We start with a head cast of the actor. What's really the best way to do it is to jump into clay as soon as possible and start blocking in clay shapes and seeing what works and what doesn't.
Eles começaram pelas blocações de massas de clay.
And then we go from the sculpture to the mold, and we create our rubber pieces that glue seamlessly onto the actor.
E depois eles chegaram à conclusão de fazer uma escultura com molde, umas peças de borrachas que se encaixaram bem no ator.
When you're covering this much of the face, it becomes a 2.5 to 3 hour job. There's this like...
Só para cobrir a parte de baixo do rosto, essa parte aqui que tava mostrando, é até 2 a 3 horas de trabalho.
Childlike quality to it, right? The proportions of the head, and then we had a version of teeth that had these little kind of extended incisors, so it looked like kind of cute. They called them bunny teeth. It was just such a cute look, but such a creepy look. And then the other thing, which I thought was just a genius touch, was having the eyes be slightly wall-eyed, which really played off as a real creepy aspect.
It's not a complex makeup, but it's visually striking, and it's fresh in that it is a decrepit, weird...
É, realmente, ele diz que não é tão complexa a maquiagem, é trabalhosa, mas não é complexa. Realmente não parece ser muito, não.
Evil child version of a clown.
My favorite part of this job is being able to design and create something that didn't exist before, and then be able to take it to the very final step where it goes on to film as a living, breathing creature. We didn't create this craft, right? We stand upon the shoulders of...
No final desse vídeo, ele diz que é um trabalho muito interessante. Ele gostou muito de ter feito uma versão que é nova, né? Nada é algo parecido com algum monstro que existiu antes. Gosta do design dele e que é uma versão mais fresca, mais limpa de um mal dentro de um palhaço.
People that we recognize, some people that we knew, some people that we had access to, and we don't ever want that to disappear. When we finally get to go to the theater and see the work on screen, a lot of times it's very special. If I go early enough when the film comes out, you're seeing with an audience of people that really love and appreciate the stuff. I think it kind of feeds my drive.
Bom, mas é isso. Vimos um pouco do processo do Pennywise, que eu acho que também é realmente inteligente. Nunca vi uma imagem parecida com a dele antes em algum tipo de monstro. Foi algo inteligente, assim, de criação. Agora, vamos ver do Fred Krueger. Aqui a gente vai ver um trabalho de próteses personalizadas pro Fred Krueger. E é a versão remake, né? A versão mais nova.
On the hat, several tries on the sweater, and the glove. These guys slowly and meticulously put this thing right to where it needs to be. One of the things that we did that was a bit different is the makeup. Freddy now has a bit of a different look that's probably grounded a little bit more in reality. It looks more like an actual burn victim, but at the same time too, they kind of put in a little undertones of boogeyman.
Aqui a gente tá falando de um trabalho meticuloso de uma pessoa que tem uma pele queimada. Então, tipo, dá pra ver que é algo muito personalizado porque tem muitas linhas e formatos diferentes.
Everyone decided that we were going to go after the idea that he would look like a real burn victim. So we hired Andrew Clement, who's amazing.
The makeup stuff can be seen as a skill, but it's very much a talent. It's like being a painter. Andrew's unbelievable.
His drawings were different than everyone else we spoke to. On some level, you have to just jump
Eles analisaram vários desenhos de Freddy Krueger pra chegar num resultado aqui.
off a cliff because you know fans are going to hate it. Initially, they're going to hate it because it doesn't look like they're Freddy Krueger. That's always a difficult decision to make.
When Andrew was designing the prosthetic, he and Sam were using the tools to mold it and talk about it, where the depth was and how thin it could get and what we could do to try and help things. All kinds of things, like his ears. Like, Jackie has real ears. A burn victim would lose their ears first thing, so how do you balance that?
Looking in the mirror and articulating that makeup and seeing just how well it moves. You start to get a sense of a whole nother being, not even a person, I mean a whole other entity.
Ooh, sounds like fun.
Vocês viram que tem muitas aplicações, né? E é muito texturada, tem umas peles adesivadas também, né? Ele queria chegar num resultado mais real e não tentar fazer uma escultura, um molde pra tentar fazer o personagem. E ainda mais que esse tipo de escolha dá mais versatilidade pro ator também, porque ele tem mais movimento no rosto.
Somehow just take that tone, that sense, and then give it to Freddy to run with.
Tag, you're it.
The reality of what can really fit and what can work with Jackie's individual face. There are trade-offs for actor comfort and speed and, you know, where appliances end. Every day we need to have a brand new set of pieces. This is a long makeup. There are a lot of pieces to it, so we're trying to find ways that we can sort of shorten up the time. And one of the ways that we can
Muitas pecinhas, muitas pelezinhas, aplicações ali pra botar.
do this is by doing just contact adhesive. I'm just gonna put adhesive on both the appliance and his face, reactivate it with alcohol so we can just do large areas at the same time. It's really important for me to get everything really right. When I told people my build schedule, they said, well, it's a burn makeup, you can get away with murder. And I really didn't look at it like that. I want this to be really textural and real, and I'm seeing the lighting and I'm altering the paint just subtly to try and pull out some of those forms based on the way I'm seeing Sam light it. So it's a lot of thinking on your feet.
I'm gonna have to steal Jeffrey Dean Morgan's line when they asked him, so how did you get into the headspace of the comedian? He says, are you kidding? 3 hours in that makeup, I'd come out of that trailer wanting to kill anybody. And the same thing is true for Freddy, man. It's like, I'd go in there, I would sit down. It started at 6.5 hours of makeup. They worked the creative process down to 3.5 hours. It was an hour getting out of the makeup. You sit there for 3.5 hours with these guys meticulously gluing this stuff all over your entire noggin. And the
3 horas e meia de aplicações também, que tem muitos detalhes pra fazer, né? Tem pintura do rosto, que tem só aplicação, e tem a pintura do rosto e a pintura da pele na mão também, né? Então tem todo um trabalho.
last thing they do is put these contact lenses in your eyes. They're oversized. It really helps to put you in the headspace of Freddy Krueger.
Don't turn away. Look at me.
The makeup's amazing. It really is. You see and communicate with someone who's just so nice with this creepy-ass mask on. It's like you can't look him in the eye.
We're actually taking it a couple steps further, and we're actually removing pieces of his cheek, and we're doing a little bit of careful computer-generated technology, and it's gonna blow some people away.
That was the next step about how this movie was different from 1984. We were going to affect his face a little bit digitally and do things that they probably couldn't have done back then. And I think that's something that the fans will be excited about when they see the new Freddy Krueger.
No, it's not real.
It's real. I'm real.
Ai, bizarro? Trabalheira, meu irmão. Que isso? O quarto e penúltimo material que eu separei aqui pra gente assistir é justamente da Annabelle Comes Here. E aqui eu vou, na verdade, analisar 3 deles, que eu achei muito interessante, porque eu me relembrei de que existe mais de um monstro do que Annabelle no filme.
I'm very skinny. I'm 6'4" and 150 pounds. Like, I'm a very skinny human being. So I know generally what types of characters I'm gonna get hired to play, generally. The two characters that I am playing in this film, one is referred to as the demon, and the other one is
Esse mesmo cara, ele faz dois personagens. Aquele bicho esquisito demônio e esse daqui que é o ferryman.
referred to as the ferryman. Mark. And so the demon is a very aggressive entity, big horns, all black skin, teeth, eyes.
Ele tá falando aqui que é uma imagem bem agressiva de um demônio, uma pele toda preta, inclusive as lentes dos olhos são pretos também.
Crazy, not a very nice person. It's something that never was human, and it's just this evil presence that's working to hurt and destroy this family. There's a lot of appliances. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour makeup, usually.
São muitas aplicações feitas do zero. São 3 a 4 horas de aplicação.
We have a chest piece that goes on first, and then a cowl which covers my head and chin. Once that's on, I get a nose, eye bags, lip, and face put on. And then shoulder pieces, forearm pieces, and
Enquanto faz a cabeça, outro faz o braço, alguma coisa assim.
hand pieces. And then all of me is painted black and this kind of white marbling that goes through.
We've got about 13 appliances we got to put on him, plus fingernails, teeth, and he wears contact lenses.
And horns on my head.
Pretty much covered head to toe.
It's a lengthy process.
It's about a 3.5 hour makeup, and then a lot of fun on set watching him terrorize everybody. It's just a fun, cool creature and a great design. It's a pretty forgiving makeup because it's in the dark a lot, just making sure that he's comfortable. But with Alex, that's a pretty easy one because he just...
Uma boa criatura com um design interessante. Eu adoro o artista que, assim, cria um ótimo monstro, mona.
gets into his character and goes for it.
What I normally do to figure out how a character like this demon moves, when I first get into the makeup, I spend some time and I look at myself in the mirror just to kind of see how the face moves or how the body moves. Because not everything that I do, depending on the appliance, is going to translate to the outside world. So I have to see what range of motion my face has and what I can express through the appliances. Luckily for this one, it's a very expressible piece, so it's pretty easy to get any range of motion I need through it. I look at a character and find who they feel they are. Looking, I go, oh, okay, I know who this person is. I know what they're feeling. I know what their general mood is. And for this demon, he loves what he does. Like, it makes him...
Já criança artista, atriz, né? Já cresce assim, uma profissional e tá nem aí. Filme de terror, então, as crianças de filme de terror devem sentir medo de nada, né? Será?
Very happy to be tormenting these people. He's overjoyed when it's going his way. Juggling two characters isn't so bad when you look completely different. Our makeup artists do that part of it for me. The ferryman is really interesting.
And I didn't want to do the Grim Reaper because it felt a little too on the nose for this.
Agora a gente chegou na parte do segundo monstro já, que é o ferryman, que é barqueiro sombrio.
This movie, and that's what brought me to the ferryman, because it sort of has that same sort of iconic imagery. Why is Mary Ellen scared of him so much, and what's her fear? She's scared to death. So it really organically came from character's backstory. I became really captivated by these photos I saw on the internet of these corpses with coins over their eyes. They sort of haunted me for years, and the coins were placed over people's eyes to...
Então, nos olhos deles são moedas velhas, e também das pessoas que aparecem aqui no vídeo, que as pessoas pedem para atravessar.
Pay the ferryman, so he would ferry their soul across the river Styx and into the underworld. Well, how creepy of a figure is that? He's got this long black cloak, and he's got a lantern, and it really sort of evokes the image of the Grim Reaper.
Gary said it would be great if he wore a cloak, but a different...
Oh, mas barqueiro tá bonito, tá?
Kind of cloak. So he's crossing the river Styx, and there's a lot of marshiness. So I wanted all of the textures and colors to be very natural. See a lot of muddy colors, mud from the marshes.
Essa menina, a costume designer, ela diz que se inspirou em pântano com texturas e cores meio turvas, assim, tipo de preto, cinza escuro.
Incorporated just a few little feathers into the costume itself. The hood on it feels very bird-like.
The ferryman is a really amazing outfit. The only...
Me lembra pouco os monstros meio aquáticos, assim, porque parece que tem escamas.
Makeup I really have on me is just my hands are painted. There's a full costume that goes on with a shirt and pants and these giant boots, and then big cloak that goes on with this voluminous hood, and then this mask, which is beautiful. It's really mummified looking skull face with...
Então, nesse caso aqui é uma máscara, né? A gente não tá falando de aplicação.
These coins in the eyes.
They put these giant platforms on them, and they put this awesome costume, which is extremely detailed, layered texture.
Meu irmão, esse cara é alto, né?
really wonderful. And I do makeup on his hands that make him look really bony and spindly.
Ah, tem só o lance da pintura nas mãos, né? Enquanto tem a máscara.
And then to make his hands kind of tie in with his face a little more, we went ahead and painted his nails first black and then metallic silver over the top to really get the silver to pop. When we blended all of that together and tied all of those elements together, put little veins here and there, it really created this very monolithic
Esmalte de prata, né, pra dar brilho.
character. And then Alex just blew it out of the water with his performance.
It moves.
Show, bacana. Vamos pular aqui. Tá um lobisomem.
I had this scare for a dog. I was like, yeah, I think I want to do something
Ele queria dogzinho assustador.
with a trick of light where the lights go out and you can hear this growl in the darkness and the flashlight shines over and you just see the stuffed dog here and then the light goes off and you start to hear a growl again in the darkness. You know, you come back on, it's still a stuffed dog. And I'm pitching this to James. I'm really excited about it. He's like, oh, that's great. He's like, that's great. What if it's a werewolf?
What about a werewolf? Por que não?
And I was like, oh my God, it'd be amazing.
So I refer to that as the werewolf situation. I came into the office and like, I could hear like, werewolf. I'm like, werewolf? What werewolf? We don't have a werewolf.
Again, it's just James thinking so big and he's so great at plussing everything.
You learn the hard way that there is a lot of evil in this room.
This movie really allowed us the opportunity to introduce other artifacts that we didn't initially come across in the earlier films, such as a haunted wedding gown. And then we get to see a haunted stuffed wolf creature, right? When you see that in the movie, you're like, where did the Warrens come across this?
Okay, here we go, pictures.
Esse aqui é o famoso diretor James Wan, que faz praticamente quase todos os filmes de terror possíveis.
We both felt very strongly about including the werewolf because it is actually one of the more famous cases that the Warrens have done. So you're looking up at the...
Então temos aqui, por último, nosso monstro desse filme, uma cabeça mecânica.
You turn because it's coming right at you and you brace yourself and you turn and you scream. To sort of set that table a little bit, just something that we love.
How's that?
Great job, McKenna. There's so many types of werewolves out there. It's like, what's gonna make it feel fresh?
Eles queriam lobisomem novo. Gente, difícil, tá? Eu acho difícil chegar a coisas novas de um mesmo ser.
We went to Justin Rowley at Fractured FX. He's worked with James on a ton of things, Aquaman, and I've worked with him on Swamp Thing. So I hit him up with the idea of the werewolf. He started to do some concept designs and we started to go back and forth. And after that, Justin got hard at work at designing the head. Yeah.
Gente, a cabeça mecânica vai no corpo.
Yeah, okay, that's good. He and his crew are just some of the most talented bunch of people that I've worked with.
It's alive.
And on the last day of shooting, we finally got it. We're very...
E tem a ajuda, claro, dos efeitos especiais. O último que vamos reagir é o VEC de Stranger Things.
At the end, they showed me what they were sort of designing, the monster side of Henry Azel Beckner, and I just, like, my mouth fell to the floor, and I remember leaving the house and just, like, being like, that was so cool. That was so awesome.
O ator curtiu.
From what I knew of the character at that point, I had already felt so invested. So when they were like, hey, you got it, I was like, oh my God, that was like a sigh of relief. It was like tears. It was a big deal. And then from there on in, I was put into the room with Barry Gower, and Barry and Duncan were
Me lembra pouco do design de The Last of Us 2.
designing Vecna.
My name is Barry Gower, and I'm the prosthetics designer for Stranger Things Season 4. Vecna, it's a really fascinating character. He's humanoid, but we are basically integrating lots of shapes and tech.
Então, a gente tem o Vecna, que é um humanoide que integra várias camadas, texturas e formas.
Textures and forms from the upside down, so there's a lot of kind of roots and vine, and we still have panels of flesh which are very pale, almost.
Ele mistura vários tipos de raízes e pós. A estética dele é pulpas claras, como se fosse uma pessoa anêmica.
Anemic looking, and the idea idea really is that the exposed flesh that is pale is human skin that hasn't seen
A ideia de uma pele humana que não vê o sol há mais de 20 anos.
sunlight for the last 20 years. Once we had a life cast of Jamie, basically we want all the appliances, rather than having a rubber monster suit, we were designing it as a kind of a jigsaw puzzle, which gives us a lot.
Ele tem muitas aplicações, a gente tá vendo aqui, mas em vez de criar um enorme monstro de borracha e encaixar no corpo do ator, eles quiseram fazer tipo um quebra-cabeça de aplicações pra ter movimentos mais fluidos do personagem, sabe? Sem ter muita flacidez. Longos dedos, como a gente tá vendo aqui, dedos mecânicos de alumínio articulado com pele de látex, amores. Que o ator, basicamente, ele precisa treinar pra entender os movimentos, por isso que ele tá mostrando ele fazendo assim, pra ele fazer até o treino dos dedos, porque lógico é maior que a mão dele.
And then it's a foam latex skin on the outside, which gives quite a nice, smooth, organic sort of feel. As a practical effects department, we tend to work very closely with digital effects. A lot of the best effects achieved now in TV and film are a combination of the two. In the long run, I think once we get through to the finished product, there will be a combination of practical and digital elements.
Gente, o ator amou, né? Seu Vecna, que bom, né? E foi isso, gente. O vídeo, eu amei. Eu acho que quem tem interesse em maquiagem artística, minhas primeiras profissões como maquiadora, era uma opção também. Eu ia pra maquiagem artística ou ficava pra maquiagem dia a dia e festa? Mas o que vocês acharam? Vocês gostaram de reagir esse tipo de vídeo? Vai no joinha, compartilha e ativa o sininho, que todo domingo tem vídeo novo e às vezes às quartas, e também estou lá pelas redes sociais criando conteúdo, tá bom? Tem muito reel saindo por aí e apoia o meu trabalho, tá bom? Tanto profissional que também tá lá. Um grande beijo, até a próxima. E feliz Halloween, galera!